Thank you. You may now be seated. His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcus Jr., distinguished guests, good morning. Today, we shall witness the enactment of the General Appropriations Act for fiscal year 2025. May we request the following esteemed guests to ascend the stage to stand witness as the President signs the enrolled bill. May we call on Senate President Francis Escudero, House Speaker Ferdinand Martin Romualdez, Senator Grace Poe, Deputy Speaker David Suarez, Deputy Speaker Antonio Albano, Deputy Speaker Raymond Mendoza, House Majority Leader Manix Dalipe, House Minority Leader Marcelino Libanan, Senior Deputy Majority Leader Ferdinand Alexander Marcos, Representative Stella Kimbo, Representative Jude Asidre, Representative Jose Aquino, Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin, Secretary Amena Pangandaman, Secretary Ralph Recto, Secretary Arsenio Balisacan, Special Assistant to the President Antonio Ernesto Lagdameo Jr., and Presidential Advisor for Legislative Affairs Mark Leandro Mendoza. May we request the President to please ascend the stage and approach the presidential table. The President may now proceed to sign the enrolled copy of the National Budget Bill. Upon the President's signature, the harmonized votes of the two houses of Congress on House Bill number 10800 shall be known as Republic Act number 12116, titled An Act Appropriating Funds for the Operation of the Government of the Republic of the Philippines from January 1 to December 31, 2025. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, our honorable guests. May we request our witnesses to descend the stage. Thank you. May we now request our witnesses to descend the stage. And now, may we invite Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin to introduce our keynote speaker.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Thank you, Executive Secretary Chief Luke Bersamin. Please be seated. The Senate President Jesus Escudero, and the honorable members of the Senate, the House Speaker, Speaker Martin Romualdez, and the honorable members of the House of Representatives, distinguished members of the Diplomatic Corps, Budget and Management Secretary Amena Pangandaman, and the honorable members of the Cabinet, fellow workers in government, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, good morning at magandang araw sa inyong lahat at isang mainit na pagtanggap dito sa Malacanang Palace. As we embrace the holiday season with the joy of Christmas filling our hearts and the New Year inspiring hope and new possibilities, we are reminded that it is also a time for reflection and for resolve. Just as families use this time to plan for the year ahead, so too must government dedicate ourselves to fortifying the foundation that we have laid down for a better future for the country. On this day that we honor our national hero, we enact the 2025 General Appropriations Act. And through this measure, the dreams of our heroes are realized by a nation birthed by their sacrifices. This budget reflects our collective commitment to transforming economic gains into meaningful outcomes for every Filipino. It is designed not just to address our present need, but to sustain growth and to uplift the lives of generations that are yet to come. In the first 2 years of this administration, we focused on creating the foundation for an inclusive, sustainable, and resilient Philippines. From targeted reforms to strategic investments, we ensure that our progress is felt in the daily lives of every Filipino. Today, we build on that momentum, guided by the same precision, purpose, and unwavering determination. In my State of the Nation address last July, I called for the full cooperation of Congress to approve the budget in their usual timely manner and to adhere to the administration's proposed budget as closely as possible. With the passing of the fiscal year 2025 General Appropriations Act, the responsibility of ensuring that every centavo is spent wisely, transparently, and purposefully begins. Cognizant that our resources are finite and our people's needs are plenty, we need to carefully curate the particulars of the budget. So much so that even grand ambitions and great plans must be tempered. We must exercise maximum prudence, otherwise we run the risk of increasing our deficit and debt and derailing our development agenda for our country. While the final version of the budget reflects many of our shared priorities, some provisions required careful scrutiny. The Filipino people have spoken. Every centavo must go to programs that truly uplift lives, strengthen communities, secure the future development of the Philippines. There were calls to veto the entire budget and to revert to a reenacted one. However, this is not an option that we can afford. A reenacted budget will set us back, delay our vital programs, jeopardize targets for economic growth, including our goals of achieving single-digit poverty levels and upper middle income status. However, the executive branch is one with the people in raising concerns over appropriations that are not consistent with the country's development plan and responsive to the needs of the people. After all, it is our people whom we serve. We take our role as stewards of our taxpayers' money seriously. And for this reason, after an exhaustive and thorough review, we have directly vetoed over 194 billion worth of the line items that are not consistent with our program priorities. These include allocations for certain programs and projects of the Department of Public Works and Highways and those under the unprogrammed appropriations, which increased by 300%. We shall also pursue conditional implementation on certain items to ensure that the people's funds are utilized in accordance with their authorized and stated purpose. Specifically, to ensure that government assistance is not merely a provisional solution to a persistent issue, we are compelled to subject the implementation of the Ayuda sa Kapos ng Kita program, or AKAP, to the convergence efforts of the DSWD, DOLE, and NEDA. This way, we ensure that its implementation will be strategic, leading to the long-term improvement of the lives of qualified beneficiaries while guarding against misuse and duplication and fragmented benefits. This approach is anchored on a simple yet profound truth. The appropriation of public funds must not break the public trust. In the exercise of our budget execution function and our duty to ensure prudent fiscal management, we ensure that all increases in appropriations and new budgetary items shall now be subject to cash programming, applicable budget execution rules, and vetting and approval of the concerned offices. This way, we guarantee that these programs and projects are implementable and will redound to the benefit of our people. Sa sambayan ng Pilipino, nakikinig po kami sa inyo. Salamat po sa inyong pagkilatis sa ating national budget at sa pagpuna sa kaibahan